Hello and welcome to another episode. During the dark days of World War II, three orphaned children, Carrie, Paul, and Tolly, are evacuated from London to the quiet countryside of England. They were sent to live with a strange spinster named Miss Eglantine Price, who lives in a large house full of peculiar contraptions and gizmos. The children are initially unimpressed with their new home and their new guardian until they discover that she is secretly training to become a witch so that she can use magic to help defend her country from the war. But when the children discover her secret, Miss Price must strike a deal with them in order to keep her secret. She will teach them magic if they will keep her secret. Soon, they find themselves soaring through the skies on a bewitched bed, searching for a lost magical spell that could stop the enemy invasion. Along the way, they have many wild adventures across enchanted islands and underwater worlds where they learn courage, teamwork, and that even the smallest magic can make a mighty difference. Now, this was the plot of a movie that came out in 1971, but unfortunately, it was a box office flop upon its initial release, only earning an estimated $3 million against a $2 million budget. It didn't receive positive reviews either, being criticized for having a weak story and uninspired direction. However, since then, it has gone on to gain a cult following and is now regarded as a hidden gem among Disney fans. So why did the film perform so poorly at the box office? Well, there are a few factors that likely contributed to the film's poor performance. First of all, the movie was released in 1971, which was a very competitive year for films. It was released between two other popular films, Disney's The Aristocats and Walt Disney's The Jungle Book, both of which were also released that same year. Additionally, Bedknobs and Broomsticks was not the most enchanting film ever made. It had an uninspired direction and a weak story compared to other Disney films. Today we look back at it and yes, maybe it doesn't hold up to the high standards set by the Disney Renaissance, but it was still quite a spectacle for its time. For instance, it featured one of the longest live-action sequences ever filmed by Disney Animation at the time. And it was one of the first animated features to use Xerox animation, which allowed artists to trace over live-action footage for more realistic movement. Unfortunately, these innovative techniques weren't enough to save the film from being a box office flop. However, since then, it has gained a bit of a cult following, and now it's seen as a hidden gem among Disney fans. So let's take a deeper dive into this film and see what makes it so special. The story of Bedknobs and Broomsticks is based on the 1946 novel Bonfires and Broomsticks by Mary Norton. The film follows three siblings, Paul, Carrie, and Toby, who are evacuated from London to the countryside during World War II. They're sent to live with their Aunt Agnes, who they've never met before, and they hoping that she will be a fun and caring relative who will take care of them while their parents are away. However, they soon discover that she is not the kind and welcoming aunt that they had hoped for. Aunt Agnes is a strict and uptight woman who treats her niece and nephews like a nuisance. When they arrive, she yells at them for making a mess and complains about how much work they are. The children are upset by her behavior and feel unwelcome in her home. They decide that they would rather stay in London and be bombed than stay with their horrible aunt. Just as they're about to run away, Aunt Agnes transforms into an old woman and reveals herself to be a witch. She explains that she's been training to use her magic to help defend England from the war. However, she needs the children's help to find a powerful spell that will stop the enemy invasion. The children are initially reluctant to help Aunt Agnes, but they eventually agree to go on a quest with her to find the spell. Together, they fly through the skies on a bewitched bed and travel to different parts of the world in search of the lost magic. Along the way, they face many obstacles and challenges, but they also learn valuable lessons about courage, teamwork, and the power of friendship. As the story progresses, the children develop a strong bond with Aunt Agnes, They realize that she's not the mean and selfish woman that they had thought she was. In fact, she's a kind and caring witch who's willing to do anything to protect her country. The children also learn that magic is not just about spells and potions, it's about believing in yourself and your abilities. With the help of their newfound magic powers, the children and Aunt Agnes are able to stop the enemy invasion and save England from harm. So what makes Bedknobs and Broomsticks such a special film? Well, for one thing, it's a unique blend of live action and animation. The film seamlessly blends live action sequences with animated sequences, creating a truly magical experience for the viewer. This was a relatively new technique at the time, and it was used to great effect in the film. Additionally, the film features some truly spectacular visuals. From the flying bed to the underwater worlds, the film is filled with fantastical imagery that is sure to delight audiences of all ages. Another reason why Bedknobs and Broomsticks is such a special film is because it celebrates the power of friendship and family. The story is ultimately about the bond between the children and Aunt Agnes, and it's a heartwarming story that celebrates the importance of family and friendship. Even though the film wasn't a huge success when it was released, it has gone on to become a cult classic among Disney fans. It is a film that was ahead of its time, and it is a film that deserves to be appreciated for its unique blend of live action and animation, its spectacular visuals, and its heartwarming story. Do you agree with me that Bedknobs and Broomsticks is a hidden gem among Disney films? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to show your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.